Hey, it has battery. Okay. We've been doing a compression test. Xavier's running away. We've been doing a compression test on the buggy, and everything looks great. These are the compression numbers. I am actually impressed by the numbers. And let me show you a spark plug real quick. Let me walk over to the sun so you can actually see. So this is a really bad representation of how you're supposed to check spark plugs. You're supposed to do one pass on these, but nonetheless you get a little bit of data, not as clean as you'd like, but as you can see, my timing mark is right about halfway through that curve. That's a good place to have a timing mark. I could add a couple more degrees of timing. I really don't care to. It is running fat, and I knew that with the tune I set up in it. I expected it to be a little bit fat, but all in all, looks great. Very happy with that. Next time out at Glamis, I'm bringing a pack of spark plugs, and I'm actually going to tune it the correct way and do one pass and check a plug and make adjustments and so forth. Backstory. Since I did a lot of this off camera because we were out there at Glamis, I did a badass wheelie. That was fun. And after that wheelie, my front end came down and I lifted, and I didn't notice it at that exact moment because adrenaline's pumping, just did this crazy wheelie across China Wall. And mind you, this is a single shock car. It is not a triple bypass car or anything, even though I have the plans to do that, as you can tell right over there. Behind the car seats is a bunch of shocks. I got all kinds of new shocks for this. Just wasn't able to get it installed this season. So we're going downhill, not giving it any gas. I don't notice that my timing is retarded by 15 degrees. That's what my tune does when my oil pressure drops below 25 pounds. It pulls 15 degrees of timing out. So we're coming down the hill, and I pull up to the group, and the car immediately shuts off. Still didn't think anything of it. Hung out with the group, fired up the car to leave, and it won't idle. And I come back here, and I think I lost my sending unit. So I took my sending unit off, see if it made any difference. Still says no oil pressure. I literally unscrewed the sending unit, fired up the car, and nothing came out. I legitimately had no oil pressure. I don't know exactly how long the car ran with no oil pressure. If I had a guess, I would say about a minute and a half. So we get towed back to camp, and at camp I drop the oil pan and I start to dig into things, and we find that the oil pump, the pressure relief valve in the oil pump was stuck 3/4 of the way open, which is obviously why I had no oil pressure. So got a new oil pump out there at Glamis, threw it all back together and started running it. Ran good-ish, but it started dropping a cylinder. So being a mechanic and knowing how engines work, of course, my mindset went to a collapsed lifter or some kind of other terrible problem inside of the motor. Well, when I got back here, we ended up finding out that we lost one of our coil packs. Again, not a big problem at all, thankfully. So I ordered a coil pack, threw it on there, but running the engine with a dead miss, can cause ring damage, along with other things. So I did a compression test to make sure everything was good, and those compression numbers are about as good as you can realistically get. I don't know how many miles are on this engine, but that is fantastic. All the spark plugs look good. The only last thing I'm gonna do is pull the oil filter, do an oil change, cut the oil filter apart, and check for metal. If the oil filter is clean, I'm gonna say that she's 100% and I didn't hurt her. If the oil filter has metal in it, then we know that I hurt something in the motor. But that's where we're at. That's what we've done. That's why we've done it. and we're getting ready for New Year's out at Glamis, which is another 3-week trip for us. So in between Thanksgiving and New Year's, we have 3 weeks to turn around everything, fix everything, make sure everything's ready to go, and send it again. And that's what we're doing. So I'll circle back when I have the oil filter apart.